Hello, yogis. Hello, everyone that is joining me today through Facebook and through Zoom as well. Working on a setup right now. All right. Beautiful. Got it all set up for you. Thanks for joining me. A little bit of some complication there to start, but I'm so glad that you decided to join me in practice today because we all really need a little bit of breath work and some long, slow stretching to help get us through this day. So traditionally, Yin is practiced as a slow, low approach to yoga. That's very traditional. There can be some yang elements to yin as well, but mostly we'll be focusing on that slow, low, just a little bit of mobility to break up some of the yin. And pranayama is really just a technique with breath. So it's not your regular everyday shallow breath, it's the conscious breath. And we can use that to make us feel lighter in our bodies, make us lighter in our minds, and really start a different approach through all of those habitual patterns that we have. So if you've got a comfortable place to lie down, that would be preferable. You could also sit here. You can be against the wall. But really, you don't need any props. All you need is your breath and your presence here on your mat. So for the first few moments, just close the eyes and start to settle in. Palms are down on the lap. If you feel like you need some grounding energy, maybe they're up if you need some energy, some feeling of receiving. Palms can also be placed in the lap if you feel like your mind is really busy today and you need some concentration. You can set the right palm inside of the left palm and join the thumbs together. And the breath that we're working with today is called the Voluma breath. And Voluma is basically going against the grain. So when we practice going against the grain, we view our habits with a fresh set of eyes. And really, this is what this practice is designed to do for you. So let me know how it goes. I'd love to hear your feedback, your comments. Love is always appreciated. And any special requests on classes, anything like that, I would be so happy to honor those requests for you. I do teach every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Tuesdays 10 a.m., 6 p.m., and 7:30. Wednesdays at 10 a.m. and Thursdays at 10 a.m. And all of those classes are available on our live stream Zoom. And when you support me through Zoom, I cannot thank you enough because right now it's getting a little crazy out there. So we all need the yin and we all need to support each other. So go ahead and take that seat, relax, soften the eyes. Maybe you're lying down, that's perfect. And just for the first few moments, feel the breath as natural as it is and notice how that breath reflects back into the day. Maybe it's shallow. Maybe it's a little spotty. And take a few moments just to separate yourself from this practice and the outside world. Marking the moment where you step into a conscious breath and away from the breath that you have breathed all day long. And then taking a couple deep breaths with me, start at the bottom of the belly, let that breath climb all the way up the ribs, all the way up to the chest, right up to the top of the throat, and then open the mouth and let it go. Couple more rounds, deep inhale. And a sighing breath, exhale. One more inhale. Exhale. And your next inhale, draw in about 1/3 of the space it takes for you to breathe. And pause. Draw in 2/3 of breath. And pause. Take your last breath all the way up to the top, pack it in. And then slow, 1/3 out, 2/3 out, all the way out. Going against the grain again, inhale 1/3, 2/3, all the way up. Exhale 1/3, 2/3, all the way out. Inhale 1/3, 2/3, all the way. Exhale 1/3, 2/3, all the way out. Inhale 1/3, 2/3, all the way up. Exhale 1/3, 2/3, all the way down. Inhale 1/3, 2/3, all the way up. Exhale 1/3, 2/3, all the way out. Inhale 1/3, 2/3, all the way up. Exhale 1/3, 2/3, all the way out. Last one, inhale. Exhale. Take your deepest breath you've taken all day long. Open the mouth, sigh it out. Blinking the eyes open. And any sense of levity, any sense of calmness, see if you can continue to transport that into our next 10 minutes or so. Drawing the knees in on the back if you're not already there. Squeeze into yourself. Come into a tight little ball. Roll around the hips and back. Make some circles clockwise and counterclockwise. And then cross the right ankle over the left knee. For the lowest, easiest variation, the left foot will be on the ground. If you're looking for more sensation, draw the left knee in towards the chest. And remember that the practice of yin is finding that place where you're not pushing, you're not pressing, but each pose is almost like a wall that you're just leaning into. You don't want to burst through that wall. You want to find your edge, back off about 10%, and then resist the urge to fidget. Notice how still you can become, how deeply that you can disengage. Bringing in some fluid, even breaths here. Maybe even noticing if you can balance the breath, not only in strength and length, but also in steadiness and fluidity. We've been here about 10 breaths. And we're looking in at about 10 more, if that's accessible for you. Knowing at any time you can skip a pose entirely, you can come out of the pose early. And on those days when you really need a pose, you can always stay a little bit longer. Last 5 breaths here, maybe a couple deep sighs. The sighing breath is a great way to relieve tension. To regulate the nervous system. When it's time to move, I want you to move so slow. Draw the left foot back to the ground. Gently uncross the legs. Keeping the knees bent or releasing the legs all the way down towards the end of the mat. 5 breaths or so in rebound, 3 to 5 breaths. Rebound is a very magical time in every yin pose or in most yin poses. Rebound doesn't always have to be there, but it's a great way to take a look at the fluctuations of the body. Normally there's the sensation of heat, of tingling. And this is when we give the body to really digest what just happened to it. So when we're not used to moving in certain ways or staying in poses, maybe we're not used to sitting still for long periods of time, we can reset that pattern through a pose and then take that time and rebound so it can really sink in. When it's time to move, bend the knees, take the knees side to side. And if you can, allow the hips to move with you as well so that actually the thigh that comes to the ground is grazing the ground. On an inhale, draw the knees back into the chest. Squeeze the head, forehead into the knees, round the spine. This is where a little bit of our yang might come in. Heels to the ground, palms to the earth, hips lift up for a little mod bridge pose. Really nice and easy. Shouldn't be stress. Shouldn't be strain there. Just a little lift of the hips will work. And then when it's time, bringing the knees in and taking the knees all the way over to the left for a spinal twist. Open up the right arm to the side. Soften the right shoulder down to the ground. Even if the right shoulder doesn't reach the ground, relax it towards the ground. If you're finding this is creating some stress in the spine or in the hips, always a good practice to have like a little pillow with you for yin. I know that I said that we wouldn't be using props, but if you could grab a pillow off the couch or something like that, if this was an uncomfortable place to rest, you can go ahead and put a pillow under the knees or between the knees. Breathe into the length of the spine. And notice how still you can become in the body. And also how still that you can become in the mind as you focus on your breath. In any part of the practice, distraction always arises. Whether you're brand new to yoga or a seasoned practitioner, we all hit that roadblock once in a while where we realize our mind is not with our body on the mat. But your mission is to watch that little voice in the head and become bigger than it. If you feel yourself drifting down story lane or being swept up by responsibilities and tasks, whatever comes next, just bring the focus back through the breath. Last 3, maybe a couple deep sighing breaths. On an inhalation, all the way back to center. Feet to the ground, knees stay bent or extend long. 3 breaths here. When it's time to move, maybe just a little internal, external rotation of the feet, the thighs. Maybe feet to the ground, knees side to side, a little more dynamic. Or you can go for that most dynamic variation, palms on either side of the body. Press into the feet, rise up for Setu Bandhasana, bridge pose. And all the way back to center. Left shin will cross over the right knee for figure 4 on our second side. Right knee pulls into the chest. I'm going to reach for the shin or maybe through the legs. Find that space on the front shin or on the right thigh. And once I find that place that feels like a dull, sticky pull on the outside edge of the left hip, I'm going to sit with that sensation. Checking in with the breath. What does the quality of the breath look like? Is there any stagnation? Is there any rough edges? Is there anywhere I can become a little more skillful and a little more mindful with each breath? Coming in on those first 7, maybe 10 breaths, and looking at about 10 more breaths here. Where can you relax a little deeper? Maybe in the backs of the eyes. Maybe in the forehead. Quite often when we move into the hips, it's in the jaw, it's the clenching of the teeth. Can you relax a little deeper? Moving in on 5 breaths or so. When it's time, a couple sighs. Slowly, slowly moving to that place of rebound. Just 3 breaths or so. Little internal, external rotation. Eventually drawing the knees up to the chest, squeezing in any little bit of yang. What we'll do here, and when it's time, taking the knees all the way over to the right for our last pose, which is our spinal twist. Draw the gaze to a neutral space, or maybe look over the left shoulder and breathe. Imagine a hand wiping away tension from the forehead. Drawing to mind what it would take to create a smile on the face right now. And transporting that smiling energy right to the spine. And thinking of that wall of resistance in your twist as going against the grain just for today. Not feeding into the mind. Not being carried away by stress, by tension. But looking that tension right in the eyes. Breathing into it. And using the breath to tell the monkey mind that you're not interested in diving down that path. That you're going to resist the monkey mind with a bit of peace today. Last inhalation, long, slow exhalation, maybe out of the mouth. On an inhalation, coming back in. Taking the feet as wide as the mat and letting the knees knock in towards each other. When it's time to move, a little side to side motion. And everyone at home, I highly recommend that you just take the next 5, maybe even 10 minutes to lie all the way back in Savasana. If you've got places to be, go ahead and rise on up. If you're still in Savasana, really just truly enjoy. Draw the hands to the heart center, close the eyes, and bow a little bit deeper into yourself with this reminder that you are so much more than your body. You are so much more than your breath. You are the entire universe personified. So they say thank you for your ability to meet yourself today, your highest self. Namaste. Thank you, friends. Lots of love to you. Hope you enjoyed this yin and pranayama practice. Looking forward to doing a lot more of these with you and sharing some of my flows with you as well. I'm really missing you. For all of those that practice with me, you know I'm really missing the energy of teaching classes, and I'm really missing all of your faces and hoping that everyone is staying safe. I'm really missing sharing my awesome playlists with you. I've got them lined up, let me tell you. I've got a whole bunch of playlists on the way. So if you like my music, holla back at your girl, let me know. And I'm happy to share some of that music with you. I'm on Spotify. Keep practicing, keep flowing, keep breathing, and keep safe. Thank you so much. Lots of love. Until next time, hopefully you join me for a full class, circussoul.com/virtual studio. Thank you so much.